Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by and watching. So this is a 20th spray paint art video in a beginner's tutorial series, and in this one I'm going to be using a recycled canvas to paint on, and I'll be using some of the techniques and materials that I've shown you in some of the previous tutorials in the series to make this painting. So for this tutorial I'll be painting a big space painting with lots of planets using different materials to make the texture on them. I'll also be adding galaxies, stars, shooting stars, and using lots of different colours in this space spray paint art. I'll also be using the same spray paint as the previous tutorials in the series, which is Montana White. Also, if you're new to this series and interested in learning more about how to make art with spray paint, you can find the previous tutorials in the series here in the cards or in the description box below. So I hope you will enjoy watching and find this tutorial helpful, and if so, give it a thumbs up and please share with your friends and family or anyone that you think may be interested in learning this type of art. And also, if you're a new visitor to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future spray paint art videos. It'd be very much appreciated. Right then, the first thing you want to do when using a recycled canvas is to prime the canvas with something, so the picture that is on the canvas won't show back through when you paint on it. So for this you could use spray paint or paint from a tin. Just make sure whatever you are using as a primer won't react with the spray paint you are using. So I'll be using white spray paint to do the priming on my canvas, and I'll be giving it 2 coats of white and then leaving it to dry for at least 24 hours so the paint can fully dry out before painting on it. So what I mean by recycled canvas is something like this, something that's already been printed on. And all I do with this is give it 2 coats of white and then leave it to dry for 24 hours. So the canvas I'm using has already had 2 coats of white paint, and I've also left it for 24 hours to dry. I did this as the canvas I'm using has got characters on it from a film. Right, with the canvas ready I can now start painting on it. So the first thing I'll be adding to the painting are the planets. I'll be using lots of different colours for the planets. You can find a list of colours in the description box below. And for the texture I'll be using a number of things such as magazine paper, newspaper, grocery bags, packaging from a canvas, plastic bags that I've cut up. So if you watched the previous videos in the series, you should have a good idea of how to make planets now. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the planets while talking you through it. So the first thing we'll do is get the lid stencils and place them on the canvas where your planets are going to go. So, one there, one there. So like I said, I'm going to be adding lots of planets to this one. Leave these small ones off for now. So I'm just going to get the black and give these a rough spray so you can see where they're going. So take the lid stencils back off for now. Right, now we have the outlines done for the planets, we can now start filling the outlines in with some colours. So like I said, I'm going to be using a range of colours for these planets. So first what I'm going to do is here, so I'm going to use night blue first. Don't forget to do around the edge of the canvas as well. And I'm going to use a bit of light blue. I'm going to add a bit of green to this one, Viper. And a bit of dark blue at the bottom. Now with the black, and the white. And for this one I'm going to be using magazine paper to make the texture. So just crunch it up. And we'll place it on the machine, give it a light rub, peel it off to make a texture for your planet. Like I said, you can always go back over in places to make some more texture. Just try and bring a bit of that blue from behind the green out in places. So that'll do for a texture on that one. And we'll just add the highlight and shadow to it. So I'm going to put a bit of Viper for the highlight. And a bit of white. Bit of white here as well. And then for a shadowed area, just a bit of black. So I'll leave that one to dry and I'll move on to another one. So I'll do this one next, and I'm going to use King's Purple. Lounge, pink, which is called Pig, and then Sweet Violet, and then with the black and the white, and then for this one I'm going to be using the plastic bag that I've cut up. So like that, I've just cut it up so it's easier to use. And all I do is crunch it up to get some lines in it to make your texture. And then we'll just place it over it and give it a light rub. And peel it back off. So just go back over this part of it. So now we'll add the highlights and shadows to it. So what I'm going to do is going to put a bit of pink, the pig on it first, just a light spray there, and then a Sweet Violet, and then the white, and then for the shadowed area, just black. So I'll leave that to dry and then move over onto another one. So I'll do this one next. So I'll use some Phantom, and then a bit of orange, and then some yellow, and then a bit of saffron, lighter yellow. And I'll just give a Phantom again, purple, spray a bit there, and then with a black and the white. As you can see there, some of the paint's separating a bit. That's because I put too much of the colours on together and then they start separating. So for this one I'm going to use a plastic grocery bag, something like this. I'm just going to place it over the top, put your hand inside when you're using a bag, and I'm just going to go over it and give it a light rub. and then peel it off. Just go over a part of it, just dabbing it, bring some more of the colour from underneath out. So that's that one done. So now we'll add the highlight and shadow to it. So for this one I'll go back to the saffron. Just spray a bit here. Lightly press your cap down when you're doing the highlights so you get more of a mist effect. And now back to the white. Just a nice mist in there. And then add a bit of shadow to it here. So now I'll move on to this one here, and I'm going to use New Wave. Soap. And Sea Breeze. Add a bit more New Wave to it there. Then with the black, and the white, and then for this one I'm going to use Night Blue, Bavaria. I'm going to put a bit of red here, Hot Lips, and a bit of orange, and then a bit of black, and a bit of white. For this one at the back, I'm going to use some Lounge, Fuchsia, and Pig, and the same black and white. So for this one here I'm going to be using newspaper, so just crunch it up a bit, and I'll just place it over it and just give it a light rub. You can always go back over and give it another rub until you find the texture you're looking for. That's that one done. Now the next one, I'm going to use the packaging from a canvas. So again, just screw it up so you get some lines in it for your texture. And as you can see there, before I put the canvas paper on, you can see the paint coming through from each other. That's because there's too much paint down. So I'll do for that one. And for this last one, I'm going to use a piece of magazine paper, and I'm going to fold it in half like that, and then again, and then all I'm going to do is place the paper over top and then just give it a spin. You can always go back, do it again if you want. So now we'll add the highlights and shadows on them. So for a highlight on this one, I'll use Sea Breeze and just light coat, and then a bit of white, and then this one We'll just add the shadow to this one. Just move this bit of stuff off here. Like I said, we'll do a shadow on this one. So with a black. And then for this one, I'm going to add a bit of saffron first. And then the white. And then the black for a shadow. And then for the last one, for the highlight, bit of pink, pig, and then a bit of white. And then for the shadow, just a bit of black. So now we'll move on to this one. So I'm going to use a bit of King's Purple. Bit of blue. And a bit of pink. And sweet violet. So as you can see there, the cap is clogged here. So what I'm going to do is a bit of dry paint or something. So I'm just going to scrape this off like that. Use a craft knife or something. So I've cleaned the cap now there, so it won't spit out like it's done here with all these blobs. So get a sweet violet again, just put a bit there. And then with the black and the white. And I'm going to use plastic sheet again, the bag that I've cut up. This time I'm going to fold it like that, and I'm going to do the same way as I did this one. So place a bag on top of the wet paint, and then all we're going to do is just turn it a bit. Like I said, you can always go back over it, give it another turn a bit. And then to the highlights and shadows, so sweet violet first. And then the white. And then the shadow deer, black. So we'll move on to this one. So I'm going to use green, dark green, cactus it's called. There. And then a bit of grass green over that. And I'm going to use yellow, sunflower, and then saffron, the lighter yellow. Now I'll get the packaging from the canvas to make this texture. But before I do the texture, remember you've got to put a bit of black on there and a bit of white, or whatever you want to add over your colours. So just give it a light rub, pull it off. And we'll just add some highlights and shadows to it. So bit of saffron first. A bit of white. And then black on the shadowed area. So now I'll do this small one here. So bit of soap, New Wave, and a bit of light blue, bit of black and white. So get a piece of newspaper again, crunch it up, so you get some lines in it. Then just place it on there. I'll do it again. So we'll get the white for the highlight. And a bit of black for the shadowed area. So I'm going to add some smaller planets in, like these here in places. So I'm just going to use some colours. I'm going to do a small one here, I think. So I'm just going to use black and white for that. And some magazine paper. So I'll do for that one. So I'm going to have one around here somewhere. So I'm going to use, I think, let me see. I'm going to use a bit of blue and green and a bit of white and a bit of black. I'm going to go and use a paper again. I'm just going to go give it a slight turn, I think, on this one as well. So they're all the planets in apart from this one. So I'm going to get the lid stencil. And now I'm going to cover this one up. The paint's dry enough now, because we've done all the others, so it's given chance for this one to dry. So I'll go ahead and place it on. So I'm going to have that one there like that. I'm also going to add the stencil to this one, the lid stencil. Let's place that one on there. And then this one as well. So just remember, let the paint dry before putting your lid stencils on. That way you won't get marks on your painting when you lift the lid stencils back off later on. So we're going to do this planet now. So for this one I'm going to use some reds, oranges and yellows. So the first one I'm going to use is hot lips. So just spray it lightly round here so you don't get any leaking under this lid stencil. And then chili, which is a lighter red. And I'm going to use bright orange. And then sunflower, which is yellow, the darker yellow of the two. And then saffron, the lighter yellow. And then for this one, I'm just going to use mostly black. And then for this one, I'm going to use this Carry Grocery bag. It's a lot thicker than the other one. So you can just crunch it up to get a bit of texture on it. And then put your hand inside it and then we'll just place it over the paint and give it a light rub. Just be careful with the other stencil being underneath. And we'll peel it off. See, so as I peeled it off, the other stencil has moved. There, so I'm just going to line this back up. Right, so that's that stencil back on. So we're going to get the bag again. I'm just going to pull a bit more paint off. So I've folded this bag up now, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch the paint in places. So you're just bringing a bit of paint off. So that'll do for the texture on there. Now I'll add the highlights and shadows. So I'm going to use saffron there. And then the white. And then the shadowed area here, the black. Just remember, spray it lightly so you get no leaking under your lid stencil. Right, that's all the planets done. So now we can go ahead and place the lid stencils on the rest of them. Just remember what I said before. Make sure the paint's dry before placing your lid stencils on. So then the lid stencils won't stick when you pull them back off later on in the painting. So I'll go ahead and start placing the lid stencils on. So, put that one there. That one there. This one. And that one. That one up here. That one there. Oh, these small ones, so just going to put that one there. I think that one there. And then we'll get this one, the planet under planet stencil. What I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to leave a bit of a gap there on this one. So you can see there's a bit of a gap there. Right, that's all the lids on the planet, so I'll move on to the background. So for this I'll be adding the colours for the galaxies first, and then covering the colours in black. So for this galaxy here, I'm going to put a galaxy here somewhere. I'm going to be using the packaging from the canvas to make the texture on it. And for the galaxy here, like a spiral galaxy or something, I'm going to be using magazine paper to do the texture. So with that, I'll go ahead and add the galaxies in. So for this one here, I'm going to be using blues. And some purples, I think. So with a light blue, just spray a bit of light blue first. And then with a line of white down the middle. And then Bavaria blue. And then a bit of King's Purple. Just make sure when you go around these lid stencils here that you spray a bit lighter so you don't get any leaking under your lid stencils. So a bit of King's Purple. And then the dark blue, night blue. And a bit of lounge to it as well, I think, in places. So there are the colours for the galaxy. So with the black, we'll just cover it over. Remember, lightly round your lid stencil. So that's the black on. So like I said, I'm going to be using the packaging from the canvas. So all I'm going to be doing is just crunch it up in your hand so you got something like this. And all I'm going to be doing is just pressing it onto the paint to pull some of the black off to show the colours underneath. So you just keep moving it around so you get a clean piece of packaging. So when you go close to your lid stencils, you can hold them to stop them moving. So I'll just go around this one a bit. Bring a bit of a purple out in places. So I like the texture on that one, so I'll move on to this galaxy here, like a bit of a spiral whirly galaxy here. So for this one I'm going to be using reds, oranges and yellows. So put a bit of yellow down first for saffron, the light yellow. I'm going to add a bit of white in the middle. And then the next yellow is sunflower around that, and then a bit of orange around that, and then chili around that, and then the darker red hot lips around that. And then with the black we'll just cover it lightly. That's the black over colours. And then with the magazine paper I'm just going to place it on and turn it like that. But just watch out when you're doing things so you don't knock your lid stencils on your planets. So we'll place it on and then we're just going to turn it. And then pull it off to see what that looks like. So I need to do that again, so I'll get another piece. And we'll turn it again. Take it off and then do it again. Do more into the middle. Like I said, there's no rush when you're doing things, just take your time till you find the right texture you're looking for. So I'll just get one more piece. I'm just going to turn it again, so. So they're both galaxies done and the textures on them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get a couple of blues here. I'm just going to mist a bit of colour over it in places. So with a Bavaria blue first, we're just going to do a light mist. So just spray your cap lightly. And then we'll go to the King's Purple. We'll just give that a light mist. a bit of night blue. Now I'm going to get the black first, so I'm just going to go around this one, around the outside of it. Remember, lightly round your lid stencils, so you get no leaking. Now we'll go back to some of the colours we used for this Galaxy. So first I'll use chili, so just going to give it a mist around the outside. And then hot lips of red. So just mist that round as well. I'm also going to add a bit of orange into it around. And then in the middle I'm just going to get the light yellow. Right then, my battery on my camera died then, so you may have missed me putting this yellow in the middle of this Galaxy. So sorry for that, but I'm also going to add some white over the yellow here. So with the white, all I'm going to do is press the cap once and put a small dot into the middle. That's the same way as I did the yellow. So get the white and we're just going to spray a quick spot over there. And what I'll do, I'll also add the yellow. And I'll do the yellow again. So just a quick press on the cap. So now we have both of the Galaxy finished. We'll fill the rest of the canvas in black. So with the black, we'll just start spraying it all black. Remember to go around the edge of your canvas as well, the sides of it. And just go lightly, spray it lightly. So lightly round your lid stencils. And then as we've got this Galaxy here, we'll just do a bit of black round here. So I'll just go around all the lid stencils first. Just spray lightly round them. That's all the lid stencils gone round. Then we'll fill the rest in black. Just go around this Galaxy around the outside. So that's all the black on the painting, so I'm just going to go around the edge, the canvas, the rest of the edge. I'll just do the back part. So that's the black done for the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a bit of night blue and the King's Purple. And I'm just going to fade this with a bit of colour into the black. Just mist. And then round here I'm just going to give her hot lips. I'm just going to give her quick spray round the outside, blend it into the background a bit. Like I said, you can always go back in places, add a bit of black, blend it back out. So blend the colour into the background. So with the Galaxies now blended into the background, I'm just going to get a spare piece of card and rip it, a bit like how I made the cloud stencil in episode 9 of the series. So for this I'm just going to use a piece of card like this and then just rip it. So all I'm going to do is just rip rough shapes out of it. A bit like the cloud stencil when you made that earlier on in the series. So we just want some rough shapes. So then you end up something like this, and then you can go back and pull bits out. In places to make it some smaller stuff in it now. It's pretty much like a cloud stencil, this is. So we got something like that. I think that'll do. I'm going to use that. Might just take a bit out of there like that. So we got something like that. And also what I'm going to do, because this is a bit too big really, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip this in half like that, so you have two parts to it. So what I'm going to use these for is to do like a nebula, some space dust around this area here. So I think I'm going to use some greens for this, so I'm going to use the cactus first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it over the sheet like this. I'm just going to spray against it so you get like some cloud shapes, some space dust, nebula looking things. And do the other side, turn the stencil the other way so you get some. So that's the cactus done, the darker green. So now I'm going to get the other piece of cardboard, because I ripped it in half. I'm going to get a grass green, a lighter green. I'm just going to spray a bit over the top of this. And then with the Viper, I'm going to go over that. So like I said, I'll be using the Viper next. And I'll be using the other piece of sheet now. The first sheet I used for the darker colour on the cactus. So I'll turn it the other way round. Right then, that's the Nebula space dust done with the ripped piece of card. So as you can see here in the painting, I've gone over this galaxy with the green a bit, but that doesn't matter because it'll give some depth to the painting. So with the Nebula space dust added, I'm just going to get some different colours and add a bit of colours around some of these planets. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to use a night blue around this planet here. And as you can see here, earlier on I left a gap between the two planets here. So when I put the colours around this planet, it will sit on top of this planet behind. So with a night blue, we're just going to lightly spray it. And get a bit of Bavaria. Lightly spray that. Now I'm going to give a light blue. And just spray a bit of that. I'm just going to tone down this light blue a bit. So back to the night blue, I'm just going to give it a light. Just press it lightly and move round. Right, so that's the colours added around this planet, so I'll move on to this one now. For this one I think I'm going to use a bit of King's Purple. And then I'm going to use Fuchsia, the pink. And then I'm just going to add a bit of a lighter pink, Pig. So not much of this, just a light spray. Bit more there. So I'm going to move on to this one here. So I think I'm going to add a bit of red, orange and yellow behind there. So I'm going to get hot lifts. And then the orange. So all we're doing with this is we're pressing the cap a bit lighter. And then the yellow. So I'm just going to get the saffron and just spray a quick spray there. So next one I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this one. So I thought while doing this tutorial that I'd answer a question. And the question was, when I lift my lid stencils off the planet after putting some colour around it, I have a black line between the colour and where the planet is. So the reason for that is, you're not spraying the paint towards the lid stencil all the way round. So then the paint goes right next to the lid stencil. So if you get your paint, so you got your lid there, and say you've sprayed it round there like that, right? Because you sprayed directly on the top to get your mist around it, you might have a black line round it between where the colour is and the planet sits. So when you're spraying it, always aim for the edge of the planet there and work around like that, so you get the paint right up to the edge of a lid stencil. So what I'm going to do with the black, I'm just going to tone this bit out, a bit of this out of it, go back around it. So you'll see later when I lift the lid stencil off, there may be a bit of a ring round it, or in places there'll be a gap between the lid stencil and the colour you've added. I'm going to get a black paint and I'm just going to go back up to this area here. I'm just going to fade it out a bit. I think it's a bit too bright in places. I'm just going to put a bit of black down the middle. Put a bit of colour, I think, in places. So I'm going to put a bit of blue up here, I think. It's up to you what colours you add now into the background. You can add any colours you want. So here I'm just going to add a bit of this cactus. Thing around there, and a bit of phantom, just whatever you want to add. Like I said, it's your painting, you can add whatever you want to the background. Bit of green. Let's get a bit of soap here. Got a bit up there. You can add a bit of a darker red in places if you want. Maybe a bit of orange. Bit of yellow. Bit of black. So like I said, a bit of black in places. So you can always go, if you add too much colour into your painting, you can just go back and go over with a bit of black in places. I think I'm just going to get the viper here. Might just add a bit of green here. Not much, just a bit. Tiny bit there, I think. Tiny bit there. Like I said, a bit too much there, so just get the black. Fade it a bit out. Right then, now we have some colours around the planet, we can now move on to adding some stars to the painting. So the first ones we'll be adding to the painting are the small ones. So we'll get the white spray paint, and what you want to do is spray a bit onto your fingers here. So spray a bit onto your fingers like that, and then what you want to do is flick it away from your painting a couple of times to get some of the paint off first before flicking onto your painting, so you don't get big white blobs all over your painting that don't look like stars. So spray some white on your fingers, flick it away from the painting a couple of times, and then flick the rest onto your sheet. You can add as many stars as you want to your painting. It's up to you. Add a few more here, I think. A few there where that is, that galaxy there, and add a few into there. So I think I'll just add a few more here. So, not many, just a couple. So I'll do for the small stars. So now we've added the small stars to the painting, I'm just going to get a metal scraper and add a star here in the middle of this galaxy. So, with the white spray paint, we'll get the metal scraper, and what you want to do is spray the white paint into the middle here somewhere, as the overspray will be making the lines. So put it on your sheet, on your canvas, your sheet, or whatever you're using to spray on, and then just lightly spray it. Just add a bit more to that one, and then so I'll just go back and do this one a bit more, this line here. And this one. Right, I think I'm going to add a few more big stars here. So, I think I'm going to put one here. So, as you can see, the paint's running off the scraper here. So I'm just going to wipe that clean, because you don't want that running off and dripping onto your painting, and then it'll leave a big white blob on your painting. So just with a magazine paper or something like that, just give your scraper a bit of a wipe. So that's a wiper scrape, so we've got no paint on there, so there's no risk of it dripping onto the painting. We'll go back to doing these stars. So I think I'll add one here. just put one here, but this time I'm just going to do small one here, I think. I'm just going to go back over these a bit. And this one. So I think I'll just add one more star here, I think. So there the big stars done. So now we have the big stars added, we'll move on to adding some smaller colourful stars using a star stencil and a food tub with a hole in the bottom. So something like this. So that's a star stencil, the piece of card with the hole in it. You can see how these are made in episode 15 of the series. And also a food tub with a hole in the bottom. So something like this. So what we'll do first, we'll get the star stencil and a colour. So I'll use Bavaria. I'm going to put one here, I think. So just spray it at the star stencil like that through the hole. Then you get something like that on the sheet. And then I'm going to put one up here, so I'm going to have a red one, so with hot lips. So just sprayed at the star stencil like that. And I'm going to get the King's Purple. I'm going to have one here, so like that. And then you want to get your food tub or whatever with the hole in the middle, and then get a lighter colour to what you used. So we used Bavaria on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the light blue and then place it over it into the middle, and then just give it a spray like that. Then with this one I used purple, so I think I'm going to use Sweet Violet. So put it in the middle and then spray it. And then this one I use red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of orange first. Spray that, and then with the yellow can add a bit of yellow to it there. So that's the second colour added to your stars using a food tub. And what you can also do with this food tub is you can get a white or any colour. You can just go around and put some bigger stars in. So what you can also do is put a dot in these. And this one. And then over on this one. And what you can do for that one there, because it's a bit of a bigger star, you can get the star stencil and just line it up in the middle where all the lines cross over, and then just give it a spray there like that. So like I said, you could always get this and do a different colour star. So you could say, I don't know, get a red. You could add a couple of red stars here and there. Put a couple of green ones. A few blue ones. So you could put light blue ones here and there. So like I said, if you're painting, you can add whatever you want to the background. So with them done, there's just one more type of star to add to the painting, and that'll have the shooting stars. So to make the shooting stars, you want to get a piece of card like this and fold it in half. And then, so you get something like this. And then with the white spray paint, all you want to do is spray the white into the middle of this when it's folded like this to make your shooting stars. So the wider you have it, the bigger your shooting stars are going to be. The thinner you have it, the smaller they're going to be. So I'm going to add some here. So with your card, place it onto the painting and then just spray into the middle of the card. That's one. I have another one here, so do the same. I have one more there. I have it. One here, I think. So and then maybe just one here. I think I'll just have one here as well. So there the shooting stars added using a piece of card. So now it's time to take your lid stencils off to reveal your planets for the first time. So first one I'm going to take off is this one. So this is a bit stuck because it was wet when I put the paint down. So just take your time and lifting it off. So as you can see here, it's pulled some of the paint off because, like I said, the paint was wet when I put the lid stencil on. This is why I always say, let things dry before moving on to the next stage, and then this wouldn't happen. Then we'll take this one off here. So as you can see here, because I left a gap between the two lid stencils, the glow around this planet is in front of this planet, which gives it a more 3D look, some depth to the painting. So like I said, just take your time when you're lifting these planets off, these planet lid stencils. I'll move over to this one. So some of the paint was still wet when I was doing these. See, this one's a bit stuck, this one is. Because like I said, some of these lids went down with the paint wet. Yeah, most of these are stuck, but this wouldn't happen if you let them dry. And this one last. So as you can see on this planet here, between the planet and the colours I've used round it in the background, there's like a black ring round it. You can see it better on this planet here. Can you see the ring round the planet between the planet and the colour I've used? Whereas over here, there's no ring here where I've put the colour, added the colour around this planet. So the reason this happens is the way you angle your can at the lid stencil. So for instance, this one here, when I was doing the colour around the planet, I was spraying a spray can like that, so the paint was hitting this top edge here. And then the overspray was producing the colour around the planet. So when the overspray bounces off a lid stencil here and then hits a painting, it leaves this tiny black ring round your planet. So for this one here, where there's no black between the planet and the colour I've used, I've sprayed the paint at the lid stencil at a different angle. So instead of spraying here at the top on this top edge and the overspray making a colour around your planet, I've sprayed here at the bottom edge of a painting on the lip here, so then the paint hits the lip of the lid stencil and goes straight onto your painting instead of the overspray making it. This way, with the paint hitting the edge here of the lip and going straight onto your painting, you won't have any black ring like you have here. So now with all the lid stencils off your planet, I'm just going to show you another quick and easy way of adding stars to your paintings by using a white paint pen. So all it is just a white paint pen, and all I'm going to do is, you see these stars I added before, the colourful ones, the small ones, all you can do is go round and just add a white dot in the middle of them. And then these other ones here, the colours be added, and even the white ones you could just add. So you just go round and add a white into them. Just makes them stand out a bit more. You can also use it to add stars to the painting as well. So just add a few here and there, some bigger stars. So wherever you want to add them. Add a few here to this galaxy here, some bigger ones. Just a few here. So that's another way of adding stars to your paintings, by using a white paint pen. So with that done, there's one last thing I'm going to do before I sign a painting, and that is to give the painting a clear coat. I use this to give the painting a layer of protection, and it also adds a glossy finish to the painting. You don't have to do this part, it's up to you to what finish you want on your painting. So to give the painting a clear coat, all you have to do is spray it from side to side and move up the painting as you spray it. So I'll get the clear coat, and all we're going to do is spray from side to side as we move up. So now with a clear coat on, there's just one more thing to do, and that is to sign your painting and it's finished. So I'll grab my palette knife and I'm going to sign mine here. So at the beginning of the video I forgot to show you the back of this canvas, so I'll show you it now, just to show you that it's a reused canvas. So that's the back of it. So as you can see around the edges here, you can still see the picture, bit of a picture that was already on the canvas before I started. So I'll just flip it back over. So I hope you enjoyed learning and found this spray paint art tutorial helpful, and if so, give it a thumbs up and please share with your friends and family, or anyone that you think may be interested in learning this type of art. And also, if you're a new visitor to my channel and liked what you saw, then please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future spray paint art videos. It'd be very much appreciated. And also, coming up in the next video in the series, I'm going to be showing you how you can use a palette knife to add different things to your spray paintings. So you'll need for this tutorial something to spray on, like gloss card or canvas or whatever you're using to spray on. You're going to need some black and white spray paint and a choice of colours. Up to you which colours you choose. Just make sure they are all the same make, as some makes of spray paint may react with each other. You're going to need a palette knife. This is going to be used to sign your work with at the end and also do some things in the painting. So you're going to need something to clean your palette knife with, something like magazine paper. You're also going to need something to make texture with, like magazine paper, carry your grocery bag, or a plastic bag cut up, or a sheet of plastic, or whatever you're using to make your texture on your paintings. You're going to need a mask and some gloves. And you're also going to need some clear spray paint, which is called clear coat. This is used to wet the paint back up. And also, if you have any questions or want to know something, feel free to leave me a comment below and I'll be happy to help. So once again, thank you for stopping by and watching. I hope to see you all in the next spray paint art video. Have a great day, take care, and bye for now.